Hello, 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 welcome. This is the 6 yard box. Welcome to the 6 yard box. This is all about 90 minutes where we look at the game of the day. Tottenham taking on Wolves in the early kickoff. Now, watch along. This is just a reflection of that game. And, let's quickly get straight into it. Let's quickly get straight into it. Um, Let's get straight into it. And yeah, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, like, share. Tottenham kicked off the game, really, I'm going to put it really, you know, really well. The first 5 minutes was it? The first 5 minutes was 5 to 10 minutes was all Tottenham. Coming into this game, Tottenham had some changes. Team list was Vicario in goal. You had Emerson, Davies, Dyer, and Poro in midfield. You have Sa, Oibe, and Bisuma up top. You had Johnson, Sonny, and Kulu. And yeah, they started well, kept the ball. I think they keep the ball really well, just knocking it around. Just looking for those angles. And I think it's one of those. I think it's one of those things that happen whereby it's one of those things that happen whereby you keep possession, but you're not really going anywhere with the possession, and and I think that affected. I think that affected Tottenham in the way the game was played. Uh, it's one of those whereby I think you try and control possession and make sure you keep you keep your team um, you make sure you keep the team solid and you play that kind of aggressive possession, and you try and um, you try and um, you try and dominate the play. So that had all the good. They had a very very good. How am I going to put it? The way they actually played, they played really well. They created a lot of chances. Not a lot of chances, but they had possession of the game. They were playing really well. And I think for me, I think they basically lost that cutting edge. I think that's the key thing. They lost the cutting edge, and they didn't really have. They didn't really have. They lost the cutting edge, and they didn't really have. They didn't really have that creativity. They didn't really have that creativity, and I think that was a big problem going into the game. The way you want to start the game is for you to start the game that way. So once you start the game that way, you're giving yourself a lot of chance for you to be able to have a platform for you to play from. And I think Tottenham couldn't build on what they have been doing, and I think that was the biggest problem. So it was it was such a shame the way the game turned out. To be honest, Tottenham scored early goal very early on in the match. They scored a really really good goal, and um, they I think they could have controlled the game a bit more. Beautiful play on the left hand side, good passing. The ball was switched across to the right, and when they switched the play, Poro, I think Pedro Poros, I think it was a slip. He slept, yeah, he slipped, and he fell down, but that gave it to presented the ball to presented the ball to Kulucheski. Kulucheski with a beautiful laid back with the back of his feet, and I found um, um, what did he find? I think he found. I don't know who he was. I think it was. Yeah, it must have been Pedro Porro that slipped in the first place. Then I think it was it Pedro Porro. I don't know. I think Pedro Porro slipped, and then we played the ball to somebody running behind him, and the cross was beautiful into the box, and it was Johnson with a beautiful finish, and it was all that Tottenham deserved. Then after that, Tottenham still were knocking the ball around. Still were knocking the ball around comfortably at the back, without without no without no pressure. You know, they were just keeping control of the ball. Wolves didn't really do anything. Wolves didn't really do much in terms of creating anything. And Tottenham had the game under control, but you can tell the difference like when you have Dyer at the back, and there's nothing. I don't have anything against Dyer and Davies, but they just don't have that pace for us to squeeze up the pitch to push up. Bissouma got a yellow card towards the end of the first half, which was just ridiculous, man. I don't know what these referees are, what they are watching, what they are doing. Um, I think they were just, I don't know what they're watching or what they're doing. I think they were just, um, I don't know what game they were watching, to be honest. And I think um, it was just a case of, or just a case of what can be done at the end of the day as Tottenham. Just they were just trying to get through the game, but you can tell there was no creativity. Second half, it was a little bit better, but still no creativity. Tottenham were playing really, really poorly. It was Tottenham were playing really poorly. It was really, really poor the way Tottenham. The way Tottenham, the way they were trying to navigate the game, and I could tell there was a little bit of a problem in terms of the way we played that game, and it was just something that it just looks, it just looks all, we had a lot of possession, but we were not doing anything with it. Second half, we played a little bit more. The manager made a couple of changes, brought on the creative players in Lecelso, which I thought Lecelso was going to play from the beginning. Lecelso, Oibe, no, Lecelso and Benton Cole in the second half. Brought them on just to have a little bit more control. But it was just a case of, it was just poor goal to concede. The first one was just poor. Dyer was trying to play the ball out from the back. Um, he basically just played the ball. Um, he basically just played the ball into no man's land. Really played it out of touch, and they took a quick throw in from then on, and um, it was a quick ball over the top. covering defenders. And I keep saying, you can't train pace. I keep telling people that you can't train pace. No manager can train pace. You can't train a player to be faster. You can't do that. And it's one of those things that you can't. Uh, you can't train a player to be faster. Players are just they got certain skills, which is that's just what they have, and you can't train them to be faster, to run faster. And I think that's the reason why I think people get it. People forget that when we play with people with Van der Van and Romero, we play a high line, and that helps us in possession and out of possession, because in possession we can squeeze up, we can have the ball, we can get control of the ball, win it back, squeeze the team in. Out of possession as well, we can press, so our front players, midfielders, can put the press and press. But because there's no space at the back, the midfielders are they can't they're thinking, they're dropping back because they can't go and press, because there will be holes in behind them. So I think that's where the problem is, and I think the players were confused. The midfielders were confused today. Not confused, but I just think they were not used to, playing with defenders that are not really quick. And the first goal was just sums that. What a beautiful goal, though. The guy took it first time with his right foot, and then took it. No, he flicked the ball with his right foot and took it with his left foot. First time finish, and it was a cracking goal. That was about with 10 minutes to go. And I always hate when you lose games in the last minute. I don't when you are in control of the game. We just needed to keep the ball a little bit more. If I was, I think I can't even blame the manager, because this is what the manager has got to work with, really. So what can he do? But if I was him, I would have played at least Ashley Phillips instead of one of the two at the back. Um, Play one of them, because you need at least one of your centre backs to have a little bit more pace. And people think, and it's not going to be rocket science as well. Rocket science it's not going to be, and you don't have no magic wand that's all of a sudden going to turn Dyer into being quick. And if he wants to play the way he wants to play with an eye line, that's what you have to do. You have to have players that have got good recovery pace and that can cover you at the back when you squeeze up the pitch. That's just the way it is. Simple. Anything else is like, it's gonna be, just gonna be creating problems. And they got their goal. The second one was almost the same thing as well. I think they just have runners in midfield. I mean, I just ran through. It was played in by Sarabia, and he finished it beautifully. Um, okay, Sarabia scored the first goal as well. So, and up until the last 10 minutes, they didn't really create anything. To be honest, and some fans saying Tottenham didn't play well. I think we played well. We controlled the possession. We passed the ball really well, and we just could not. When it mattered, we couldn't see it through, and that's the problem, man. And no matter how you play, you watch City, you watch all those big teams, no matter how they play, they still have to do, in a football match, you still have to do some defending. You're going to come under pressure, you still have to defend, And those two goals were just poor. I'm going to watch those goals back again sometime, and I'm just going to look at them again. And maybe I'll analyze the goals as well. And on the tactical board, I'll try and look at the goals, because there's international breaks now. So nothing else to do for at least for the next 2 weeks, I think. So I'm gonna analyze. We're gonna be doing some watch alongs as well for the international. So yeah, I think that's just it. And they scored, and it was a shame, because we actually started the game the way we want to start the game, which was scoring first, and then just trying to dictate the pace of the game. But it was not meant to be. We move on. We got Villa next, and then we got Newcastle, and then City. So, or is it Villa, City, and is it Villa, City, and Newcastle? I think it's Villa, Newcastle, and City. So, 3 games to play. So, I think Romero is missed this game. He's gonna miss Villa. He's gonna miss City, or is it Newcastle? He's gonna miss City. or Newcastle, and then it's going to be back for City. It's going to mix City, and it's going to be back for Newcastle. Hopefully, it's going to be back for one of those games more. But I think the painful thing is just we've been through this so many times. We know everybody knew what was going to happen as soon as we start getting injuries, and the board didn't. We didn't really have players that was gonna. Because we knew that the squad was a little bit thin on the ground, and we just couldn't do anything to fix the problem. So yeah, um, I think all in all is it's all in all it's a result that we just have to take, just move on. I'm not gonna say we're gonna lose the next three because we never know what's gonna happen in football, but I won't be surprised at all. So let's have a look the at the ratings for today's match. Let's go to the ratings for today's match. The ratings for today's match: Tottenham taking um, taking on Wolves. I've got the ratings there. You can see in the ratings. I got Vicario. I'll give Vicario a 7. I didn't think he had to do much. Did what he had to do. Can't blame him for any of the goals, to be honest. We just seems to be under a lot of pressure towards the end of the game. And I think that's just to do with the fact that we couldn't push up the pitch to leave spaces in behind. We couldn't squeeze the pitch up, giving the ball away. And so the keeper has no fault. Poro, I give Poro 8. I think he was one of our best players on the pitch. He played really well. I think Poro did really well. Can't blame him. I don't think I can blame him for the goal, to be honest. Um, then Dyer, I'm gonna give Dyer a 6. You know, I blame him for the first goal. He had to pass the ball down the line and just kicked it out. They took a quick throw in. It was not switched on for the throw in. There just seemed something missing when they took that throw in. It's like everybody was flat footed when they took the throw in. Runners from midfield were not picking up. And, that was a surprise. But I'll give that a 6. I think he did some stuff well. Davis, I gave Davis a 7 because I think David played really well. Davis played really well. But he's just recovering pace. I can't really blame him. He did some tackling. I think he did some good work. I think he was the man of the match as well. I'm not sure, but he did some good defending. Then we got Emerson Royal. He's playing on the wrong side. He can't play left back. I don't know. He's playing on the left on the other side. Inverted wing backs. He kept coming into midfield. Um, I'm not gonna crucify him. It's not his position, to be honest. He's just playing there. So that's why I gave him a 6. Oibe, I gave Oibe a 6 as well. I think when him and Bentancur come onto the pitch, I think they could have controlled the game a little bit more in midfield. Bentancur and him, they used to play together a little bit more. They said I think Oibe lost his runner for his first goal or the second one. I don't even know. I think it's the first one. Gonna have a look at it. But this is where you want the midfielders to just dig in and protect the back four. So I give him a 6. Bissouma as well 6 because he was just picking the ball up from the keeper, setting up play, but he was not going past anybody. Every time he gets the ball, he has a player on him or 2 players on him trying to close him down. He never once try and go past. He did it in the second half. He got a yellow card, which was stupid. I don't know why the referee gave him a yellow card. So I think that's why I gave him a 6. I think I needed more from him. He needs to go past his players and create, just open up space, but he never did. He never did that a lot. Sarr, I gave him a 7. I think Sarr played really well. Pepe Sarr, he played really well, covered the ground as he normally used to. This boy is gonna be he's gonna be a good, very, very good player. But yeah, I give him a 7. I think he's the better of all the midfielders. Kulicheski, I gave Kulu an 8. I think he was one of our best attacking players. There was some instances where his decision making is a bit short. Let him down a little bit. He needed to, some places, sometimes he just needed to pass the ball. He will shoot. So I gave him an 8 for that. And then Sonny, I gave Sonny a 6. I gave him a 5. Give him a six. He was poor today. There was a bit where he was not even showing for the ball. I was saying show for the ball, show for he was not showing for the ball. He was not, was not holding up play really well. I think he got roughed up by Dawson, and I think he just needed to go wide or drop deep to come and pick the ball up a little bit at sometimes. But he just couldn't. He just didn't do it enough for me, and he was a bit rash in front of when he had a little bit of chance as well. It was normally someone is calm and cool, and but it was just rash. And then Johnson, I gave him a seven. He played well when he got his goal really well, coming across. But apparently he plays on. Yeah, I remember he plays on the right for Forest. He's playing on the left now, which is a little bit baffling. I don't know. But I'm not the manager, but I think he did well. He could have got another goal, I think, in the second half as well when he tried to lob the keeper instead of taking a touch across the defender into the box. I don't think the defender would be able to tackle him if he just took that touch and goes off into the box. But he tried to finish it, and he just missed the post. He missed the goal, so yeah, I think he played well. So I'll give him a seven. All the other players, I'll just give them rough. Let's also I give him a five as well. He came on, did his thing. I expect him to be the Madison create goal plus players, but it looks like let's also just to pass it, give it, pass it, give it. That's all he does, to be honest, really. And I think for me, I think it's time for me. It's time for us to just let him go. Brian Hill, I don't know on Brian Hill. I think he's lightweight, but maybe because anytime he got the ball on, he kept giving the ball away when he got pressed on the other side. He couldn't hold the ball up. So I don't know. In this league, you gotta take your chance. You gotta be able to withstand pressure. I don't know. Maybe it's time for us to let him go and look for something. And Bentancur did what he had to do. I think he was a bit creative when he came on. But I think apparently he didn't track his runner for the goal, second goal as well. But I think he's still just getting back to his fitness. He's been out for a couple of months. So I am going to give him just a 6 or 5 for that because it's going to take time before he gets back to his full fitness. So so that's my match ratings for the game. I think that's just the way it is. We move on. This is the second defeat of the season. Hopefully, we can stop the rot. We can't continue losing. We can't lose 4 on the bounce or 5 on the bounce. It's gonna affect confidence, And the manager just have to work something out in terms of the way he wants to play, and the players he has to put into play that way. It might not work, but at least give it a go. And but I'm not Andy I think he knows what he's doing. So yeah, we move. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you want to get to 100 subscribers by the new year. Follow, like, share. This is all about 90 minutes. Wolves versus Tottenham. And take care. God bless. And tomorrow we're going to be doing our watch along tomorrow. Hopefully City versus Chelsea. And then hopefully we'll be able to do that tomorrow. And watch out for the podcast as well. That's still coming. Episode 1, Footy Mad podcast. That should be dropping anytime soon. Thank you very much for watching. Stay safe. God bless.